dropping to 1,000 feet ceasefire.
For 5 days in May 2010, U.S. military forces came together to operate a deployable integrated air defense system for NORAD Northcom exercise, Ardent Sentry.
Target control, cap 937, 123.1, how do you hear?
What we have, the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, the Coast Guard, and 28 other interagencies all working together here. These national level exercises are an excellent venue to exercise this type of coordination.
Right now we are set up to provide the Joint Air Defense Operations Center in association with the Minimum Deployment Package, which is the shooter battalion that will support the homeland in the event of an air defense threat. We would come and provide the air defense support, such as the Avenger firing units on the ground that would shoot up into the sky, and also the Sentinel radars, which would monitor the skies and any aircrafts or missiles that may be in the sky. We'll look at that picture and depict on what is hostile, what's friendly, to denote which one we need to target. This is the Tactical Operations Center, the TOC. Inside there, we'll be able to monitor the air picture, be able to distinguish any hostile enemies that we want to go up against in the air. So we also will maintain our comms with all the other sites that are located around the area, all of our Sentinels and our Avenger firing units. We'll be able to monitor them through a big antenna, a big comms antenna that's in the rear. They'll be able to link all the feeds together inside of this area so we can communicate with all the other sites.
20th Fighter Wing's role in this exercise is we're providing fighter aircraft as part of a larger integrated air defense to support the NORAD Northcom Ardent Sentry exercise. Well, the good thing for this exercise is twofold. First, it allows us in the 20th Fighter Wing to practice our air defense mission with some realistic training scenarios. The second thing is it allows 1st Air Force and CONAR to further take a look at tactics, procedures, and techniques of how to execute an integrated air defense and basically respond to low-flying aircraft and cruise missile threats with a variety of means.
Really, they allow us to take the piece that we don't get to practice very often and have real aircraft out there and have all of the different agencies that we normally don't get to work with day to day and practice with them in a very robust training scenario.
During the Ardent Sentry exercise, we are conducting what we consider the Rotary Wing Air Intercept Mission. For Ardent Sentry, we receive a phone call. That phone call is given, of course, information on the bogey. We copy it down, we jump in, we start the aircraft as quickly and accurately as possible. And then we take off, and I mean, it's an immediate, you're jumping and you're moving pretty fast to get to these guys. Anytime you conduct these missions, the training benefit's phenomenal. Just being able to go out and have real targets to go out and prosecute these is phenomenal. It's a really nice thing to have. We have numerous events that take place, the Republican National Convention, your Democratic National Convention. Those are things that the Coast Guard gets tasked with, and individuals from this station, Los Angeles, Detroit, Atlantic City, numerous others, New Orleans, all those guys are brought together, and the standardization efforts amongst the Coast Guard are probably some of the best in the world. And our ability to go out and prosecute these missions is one thing that makes the Coast Guard very, very ideal for the situation. Rest assured, the Coast Guard's got it handled.
National has not granted any waivers. It's in the book, it's in our instructions, what to follow.
Well, the Civil Air Patrol forces are simulating Red forces in this exercise environment. We provide the role of light single-engine piston aircraft that either inadvertently or possibly with some malice wanders into the temporary flight restriction zone and must be dealt with. The command and control processes for the short-range air defense must then deal with that tactical problem. And it's a great opportunity for civilians that, well, such as myself with military background, we can lend a hand in the mission of the defense of this great nation. I'll say this, it's like everything else in the military in my day. I'm sure it's the military of today. You hope for the best, you plan for the worst, and you take what you get. But if you don't plan for the worst, and you don't train hard to defend against it, the results are not going to be what you want.
The exercise was extremely successful based off the objectives that we had for the exercise of primarily being able to rapidly deploy and put the integrated air defense system together and then be able to maintain it for a period of time. All the gates were met, issues were identified, most at the tactical level. They're repairable issues, but there again the exercise gave us the opportunity to identify issues that can now be worked out to provide for a more efficient and better performed operation. If called upon, if there's a threat or vulnerability in the continental United States, we can now deploy and provide an integrated air defense system to counter those threats or vulnerabilities.